Rohan was a young boy. He came from a dusty small town in India. His family did not have much money, but his dreams were very big, really big. He had one clear goal in his mind. He wanted to join the Indian Army. Yes, the Fauj, our brave soldiers. He saw so much bravery in their olive green uniform. He believed it was the best way to serve his country, his Bharat. This single dream filled his every waking thought and even his sleep. What made him dream this dream so strongly? Well, his grandfather often told him stories. These were amazing tales of brave Indian soldiers, how they fought for India's honor with courage in their hearts. Rohan would listen with wide eyes, completely lost in those stories. He wanted that life for himself, a life full of discipline, of unmatched courage, and of service. For him, joining the army wasn't just about getting a job, it was a deep passion, a fire that burned brightly inside his young soul. Even when he was just a small kid, Rohan was a bit different. Other boys in his village loved playing cricket or gilli danda. Rohan, however, preferred to play soldier in the nearby fields. He would use a sturdy wooden stick as his imaginary rifle. He spent hours reading any book he could find about military heroes. Their stories of sacrifice and bravery inspired him very deeply. He would often imagine himself standing guard on the cold, windy borders of India, protecting his motherland, his home from all dangers. His family was simple and hard-working. His father owned a small kirana store in the village. His mother took care of the home and the family. They were not rich, but they saw the bright spark in Rohan's eyes. They understood that his army dream was not a childish fancy. It was real, it was his true calling. So they saved every paisa they could for his education. They hoped he would get good training and achieve his goal. Their quiet, unwavering support was his biggest strength, his silent cheerleaders. Years flew by, as they always do. Rohan grew from a small boy into a strong young man. But his dream of joining the army, that only became stronger with each passing day. He knew dreams needed hard work, lots of it. So, he started his serious training. He would wake up before the sun even thought of rising. Usually around 4 a.m., when the world was still asleep, he would run for miles and miles on the dusty village roads. His routine included countless push-ups, pull-ups, and other tough exercises. His body ached, his muscles often screamed in protest, but his spirit, his will to succeed, never once thought of giving up. The Indian Army needed smart minds too, not just strong bodies. Rohan understood this very well. So, he dedicated himself to his studies with equal passion. He pored over his books of maths, science, and general knowledge. He knew these subjects were important for the entrance exams. Many nights he studied late under the dim light of a flickering oil lamp. He had to carefully balance his schoolbooks and his demanding physical workouts. It was a very tough balancing act, like walking a tightrope. But he was absolutely determined to clear those difficult army entrance exams. Life was not always easy for Rohan on this journey. He did not have access to fancy coaching classes in big cities. He couldn't afford expensive sports shoes or special protein powders. All he had was his unbreakable grit, his old second-hand books, and his burning desire. Sometimes well-meaning relatives would offer their advice. Beta, Rohan, they would say, the army is too tough. Choose an easier path in life. They would suggest, become an engineer or a doctor, it's a safer career. But Rohan's heart was set, his mind was made up. The army was his only destination. He learned to ignore all the negative voices and the doubts. His focus was sharp, like a laser beam, aimed straight at that olive green uniform. He started participating in local running competitions and sports events. And guess what? He started winning some of them. These small victories, like winning a local 5K race, boosted his confidence a lot. They were little signs, telling him that he was on the right track. With each small win, his dream felt a little closer, a little more real. He felt he was inching towards his goal, day by day. The big day, the most awaited day, finally arrived. It was the day of the army recruitment rally. Rohan traveled to the district town, his heart pounding with a mix of nervousness and excitement. He felt ready. He had prepared for this day for so many long years. During the physical tests, he ran like the wind, faster than most others. He cleared all the physical hurdles easily, his training paying off. His written exam also went quite well. He answered the questions confidently. Hope soared high in his chest like a happy bird in the sky. Then came the final hurdle, the medical checkup. This was supposed to be a routine part, but life, as it often does, threw a curveball. A small thing, something almost silly and unnoticeable in daily life. His eyesight, it turned out, was just a tiny bit off the mark. Not enough to cause him problems in his day-to-day activities, no. But for the Indian Army's extremely strict medical standards, it was a clear disqualification, a rejection. In that one single moment, Rohan's entire world came crashing down around him. Years of dreams, all his hard work, shattered into a million tiny pieces. Rohan was completely heartbroken, utterly numb with shock and disbelief. He couldn't process what had just happened. All that sweat, all those sacrifices, all that focused effort, was it all for nothing? Tears welled up in his eyes, hot and bitter tears of disappointment. He felt like a complete and total failure. The dream of wearing that respected uniform now seemed so far away. It was like a distant, unreachable star in a dark night sky. His cherished army dream, the dream he had lived for, was well and truly over. There was no going back. He returned to his village, a defeated young man. The familiar streets and faces of his town felt different now, almost mocking his failure. His passion, the fire that had driven him, had lost its way, its flame extinguished. For many weeks, he barely spoke to anyone, lost in his own world of sorrow. But his family, his simple, loving family, stood by him like a rock. His father, a man of few words but much wisdom, gently said, "Son, life often has different plans for us." He added, "Maybe a different, unexpected path awaits you. Don't lose heart." Their unconditional love was a small, comforting balm on his wounded spirit. Life, however, has a funny way of moving on, whether we like it or not. Rohan knew he couldn't mope around forever. He needed to find something to do, a new direction. One day, a close friend from his college days mentioned a job fair. It was being held in the nearby city, organized by several big companies. These were corporate jobs, office jobs. Rohan was not keen on the idea, not keen at all. Working with computers and shuffling files, that was not his world. He yearned for open fields, for tough physical tasks, for a life of action. But he went anyway, mostly just to see, with little expectation. To his own surprise, he got a job, an entry-level position in a large IT company. Suddenly, Rohan found himself in a completely new and alien world. Air-conditioned offices, people in crisp formal shirts and ties, hushed conversations. It was so vastly different from the dusty army training grounds he had dreamt of. He deeply missed the physical rigor, the camaraderie of a team striving for a common tough goal. The corporate jargon, the special language of the office was utterly confusing. Words like synergy, KPIs, deliverables, and bandwidth flew over his head. What did they even mean? He truly felt like a fish out of water, struggling to breathe. But deep down, Rohan was a fighter. He had not forgotten the lessons from his army dream. The core values: discipline, relentless hard work, and the spirit to never ever give up. He decided he would fight this new battle too, the battle of the corporate world. He started learning with sincerity, asking questions even if he felt foolish. He stayed late in the office, trying to understand his work, just like he used to train late for the army. He applied the same burning dedication he had for the Fauj to this new, unfamiliar field. Slowly, painstakingly, he began to understand the ropes of his new job. And then, slowly but steadily, Rohan began to climb the corporate ladder. He became good at his job, very good. His managers and seniors started noticing his sincerity and his hard work. He got promotions one after another. He was given more responsibility, bigger projects. He found a new kind of pride, a different kind of satisfaction in his achievements. It wasn't the Indian Army, true, but it was success nonetheless, earned through his own efforts. Rohan's inspiring journey teaches us something very important. It shows that determination and the ability to adapt to change are the real keys to winning in the game of life, no matter what the battlefield looks like.